Alright, hello everyone, hello. This video is gonna be rather unscripted because ResurgenceSMP is closing down and I gotta get this video done. For anyone who doesn't know me, hi, my name's Ollie, or also known as Aolis. I stream on Twitch, kinda, not really, I don't know. I've been really busy academically with school and anything else academic related. So my life has been really busy, but I gotta get a base tour, a house tour done as soon as possible. So yeah, let's get started with it. Alright, so first off, we have this main area over here. As you can see clearly, this is my main house. I've had my friend, who's also called Ollie, help out a little bit with the roof, cause I can't build roofs. I can't build roofs at all. So if we go in, ooh, double doors. We have like the main entrance. Pretty nice, I guess. Nothing much here, just your typical seating area. Typical food. Majority of the cooking stuff is all here too. I don't really use this spot often, honestly. It's all just decorative, really. If we do go up here, little elevator, we have this little upstairs area, also done. This area is done by my friend Ollie. Pretty good. Yep. I don't use this area that much because I'm never here. So we have a little bed area. Nothing much here. Nothing much. So let's get to the outside area. Actually, all right. We have my little waystone area. This waystone is usually not here because it's admin stuff, but it's usually just these two waystones. But if we come over here, now I like building outdoorsy stuff, so you can kind of see we have a little pond over here. Nothing much here. You can actually sit on these, so pretty cool. We have over here, this is my little bee area, so we can actually go in. I don't think there's any bees out because it's clearly nighttime right now, but lots of beehives here to make some good honey. I don't really use it much because I usually get my honey bottles from adventuring, but pretty good. Next we have my little actual pond this time. There's no fish in it because I forgot to put fish in it, but I think it just looks good overall, just like this. Just a nice little scenic seating area, nothing much. Towards this way, there's like an unfinished dock over there. Oh, there's a zombie over there. But it's just an unfinished dock area. I had a lot of unfinished projects on around my base, but can't really do much about that, can we? So let's see. Oh, here's a little thing that I actually don't remember how this came to be, but it's a little picnic area. And then we have my two portals here. We have the portal to the Aether, it actually exists, and then another portal. I didn't really do much with the Nether and stuff, but that's about it. Now, this is mainly the outside. You know, I said that I don't really spend much time here. So, where do I spend most of my time? Well, we're gonna have to go to my base. So, more context here. I spend majority of my time in my mega basement, cause I don't know, I feel like just being underground, especially when it comes to certain lore things, it's mainly like safer, you know? So all of my riches are down here, and we're gonna look through every single chest. Over here, we have the ores category. There's a lot here. We have all of my iron, gold, diamonds, redstone, lapis, emeralds, coal, and of course any other miscellaneous ones. There's a lot, as you can see, a lot of flint and stuff. I think this is just my way of organizing things, and I think it's pretty good. And I think I'll be using this video in the future for myself so I know how to organize my stuff later. Next we have just mob drops. So we have rotten flesh, bones, bunch of string, bunch of spider eyes, a bunch of gunpowder. My, that chest is almost full. A lot of arrows, arrow type things. Born in Chaos. items as well. I separate them by mods. And then this is of course miscellaneous stuff again. Lots and lots of stuff. Here is actually let's do this one first. Here is all of the stone items type stuff. There's a lot. This is all cobblestone. I wish I had a little bit more cobble, I think, but it's still pretty good stash. This is andesite. There isn't much here because I use it all for my crate stuff, so there's not a lot there. We have a bunch of just regular stone, mossy stone, whatever stone. They're all in there. Any like darker color stones like deep slate and things like that. I have a lot of deep slate, as you can see, because I was doing a mega project, but there's some deep slate. Then we have a diorite chest, and then we also have a lighter type block. So these are like the dactite and things like that, and calcite. Pretty good. Then we have my granite, lots of granite. And of course, miscellaneous with a lot of tuff. And I don't know where to put the tuff, so it's just in the miscellaneous. Next we have I don't even know what to call this side. We have bunch of dirt, just dirt. Bunch of clay as well. I have a lot of clay. Which is pretty good. These are just like any like stone like products like stairs and slabs and whatever the heck. You know, lots of it. We also have a bunch of animal like hides and things like that, and leather. You know, I genuinely don't really know why I put here just animal drops in general or passive mob drops. Pretty good. Next we have a sand chest. I do not have a lot of sand, clearly, and I need more. We don't talk about the black sand and sandstone. That was used for something else. Well, planning to use. Next we have ice. Clearly, again, not a lot of ice, but it's enough to make food recipes, I'd say. We have some redstone stuff. This is, I think, only one chest for redstone. I actually have multiple chests for redstone because my organization isn't that great. But we have pistons and whatever, things I never use. Lastly, we have totems. Nothing else to say. I don't use totems because I mainly use shields. And I don't die, so that's good. Next, we're moving on to food and nature, and oh, there's wood here too. First, I separated these by vanilla and not vanilla. It's a little, honestly, the placement of chests can be better, but it's okay. First, we have the vanilla stuff. We have fish. Then we have the modded fish and seafood stuff. Lots of it. Then we have vanilla like crops and things like that. So, you know, apples. Oh, there's a turtle egg in there too. Then we have the modded fruits again. There's not a lot in here because I actually mainly moved them to that side, but I'll show that soon. But that's for any unsorted food items that are modded. Then we have modded meats and things like that. Animal drops again. Cooked and not cooked. It all just gets shoved in there. And of course this is vanilla. Technically this is not vanilla, but it's still vanilla-ish. Then we have drinks. Lots of drinks here. Some of them are named because I got them from like events or things like that. And others are just like random ones I had, like the milk bottle, for example. Then we have, I think this one is just like general meals and stuff. Oh, that's a lot of avocado toast I forgot to put in my bag, but lots and lots of stuff here. Pretty good. Next we're moving on to saplings, seeds, or like other miscellaneous stuff. So we have vanilla seeds here. These should be vanilla, yeah. Vanilla seeds all go in there. Modded seeds. There's a lot of modded seeds because we used Croptopia and other food mods. So we have a lot of seeds here, clearly. Here's vanilla sapling, you know, the usual. A bunch of saplings. I don't really have much because I mainly use spruce in most of my builds or dark oak. So there isn't much here. Then we have modded stuff. Oh, there's a lot of modded saplings as well because we have Biomes You'll Go and other mods like that. So there's many here. Next we have even more miscellaneous like nature-y things because I also have another section for flowers. So these are just for like the bamboo, kelp, whatever. And then we have just a chest for acorns. I don't know how to explain that. A chest for snowballs. Again, don't know how to explain that. And mushrooms, because we also have different type of mushrooms. Next is my flowers little like chest section. We have colors ranging from red all the way to white. So, you know, pretty self-explanatory here. Every single flower gets put into its own little chest. Except for this one. This one's a little wonky. We don't talk about that one. Then we have this one. The purple one also has pink stuff in it. They're just combined. So, I didn't have much space. And then we have the wither rose, which is the only black colored flowers, I think. And the white flowers too. Next we have wood and wood products alike. First we gotta go with logs. You always have to keep a really good stock of wood when you're working with like create and like other mods and stuff. So always have a bunch of wood on you. I have way too many. We have planks as well. So sometimes I make logs into planks and I have like leftovers. So they just get left in there. That's about it. Then we have furniture items, you know, because we have furniture mods. There's a lot. There's like signs and whatnot. This is for things that are not like furniture, but there's like stairs, slabs, and many other things. Then we have, I don't even know how to explain this. There's just so many random things here. Random assortment of items. But mainly I use this chest to put a rope in it. The rest I've really just forgotten about it. Next we have sticks. Usually sticks are kept in my main backpack, but I do keep some in here. And of course this is where tree bark and other stuff is put too. Next we have the reinforced blocks. So these are like mainly leftovers that I don't have a use for them, so they all get shoved into one chest. And then we have a bunch of glass. Nothing much there, just glass. Alright, so that's the first main section, I'd say. I can also show my ender chest too, which is mainly I keep some quote-unquote admin-y things. So I have a spawner just there and just some silly stuff in my these are my creative backpacks. So these are the backpacks I use when I'm in creative mode and doing admin-y thingies. Nothing much. That's about it. Alright. Ring the bell and time for section 2. This section's like quote-unquote less used, but we'll start with the more used section. Here is all of the armors, all the weapons, things like that, because I get a lot when I adventure and I never use them, so they all get shoved into one chest. Of course. We have one just for boots, clearly, so we have chainmail. They're all sorted somehow, kinda, but they're all boots I found during adventuring. Pretty cool. Then we have leggings. These leggings are really powerful, honestly, even though they're just leather. But there's a lot. I don't know. Wait, I've actually never realized how many enchantments this leather pants have, but lots. We have chest plates, many, and of course helmets with the protection 5. I'm pretty sure this is protection 5 helmets as well. Wait, no, protection 8. Sorry, misspoke. Protection 8. Lots of those. Yeah. Then we have hose, sword adjacent stuff. So there's a lot of things piled in. There is a lot of bows and bow related items and miscellaneous. So yes, this is not only axes. This is actually mainly pickaxes, but miscellaneous, whatever. They're all thrown into there. Next, we have other, like, these aren't in main categories really. We have bottles. Of course, you know, potions, all that. Explosive items all go in there. I have too many books. Majority of them are from one person only, but many books. We have some enchant books as well. I honestly don't really know what all these are. I usually trade immediately and get books, so they're not really that important. Nether related items, there's a lot. I usually have more nether items, but the nether wasn't open when I was playing most of the time, so It's just there. We have dyes, wool or wool adjacent stuff, and terracotta. Next we have, again, I think this is the most confusing out of a lot of the sections, I'd say. We have some upgrades for my backpacks, horse armor, saddles, music disc specifically 13, music disc specifically cat, because I get a lot of these, like a lot. I don't know why there's only an image frame in there. That's crazy. I have 8 wither skeleton skulls. That's not really a flex, because I think someone else on the server would like a bunch, but I have some there. And of course some mob heads that I get from adventuring sometimes, because they're pretty cool. Here again, I can't explain what these are. We have these mobs and things like that, just some storage. I was planning on using them in some other places, but unfortunately they're all shoved into this chest. We have frame blocks, like some leftover frame blocks from my building. We have workbenches, chests, and things that you can interact with, kinda. You can't interact with this one, but things like that. Honestly, I have no idea what this this little section is for, but it's there. Then we have other music discs. Pretty cool. I love Pickstep. There's a lot here. We have rails, and more rails, amethyst, and I'm pretty sure this is concrete. Now we have this section. This is also an interesting section. Let's start with the more disorganized ones. We have just a chest full of maps. I'm pretty sure I've adventured through most of these, hopefully. I'm not sure. Or not, but they're all in a chest just in case. We have, oh gosh, a bunch of pictures here. I don't know if I should show some of these. They're not bad, but it's just pictures that people have given me, mainly, yeah. Here we have, oh yes, we have Armorer's Workshop items here. Again, I don't really open this chest, but it's okay. Here's a bunch of hats from the Simple Hats mod. I don't use hats often, so they're all shoved into a chest, never to be seen ever again. And here is supposed to be security craft items, but there's only one thing in here for now. That's also just water. I don't know what else is in there. Oh, it's a little painting. This one is supposed to have paintings, and this one is just all floaties that I get from adventuring. I should sort some of these. Next, we have some, again, more miscellaneous items. Here we have, this is from the Music Maker mod. I think I was supposed to have more musical instruments in there, but that's about it. We have things that go into like the special slots that aren't really, I don't even know how to explain it. There's like artifact stuff, very miscellaneous. They're just all shoved into there. We have some Skulk deep dark related items here. Nothing much too. There is literally just a statue there. Lots of bottles of enchanting that I never use. I usually get most of my levels from adventuring anyway, so I already have enough, but it's there for emergency uses. This is supposed to be lights chest, but there's not a lot in there. We have the moas from the Aether, which I've never ever like hatched at all, but they're there. They're there. Ooh, all of these are all Aether items too. When the Aether was open, that one time I was grinding a lot, and I grabbed like a bunch of these. Oh, there's so many. Alright. This is food stuff that's supposed to be in this section here, which is pretty self-explanatory. Same thing with here, where there's salt and pepper. Now, here's all the, I'm pretty sure this is all Aether items. So this is the Aether item category. First, we have darts that I'm never gonna use. We have food-ish items, or consumables, or other naturey items. Again, pretty miscellaneous. They're all here. Then we have these like staffs, the hammers, the bows, and here's the more like tools and melee and things like that. Then we have the armors. There's a lot of armor that I've like never used because there's other armor stronger than this. And all the capes, the pendants, the gloves, There's so many. I'm pretty sure this is the difference between this chest and this chest is this one is Aether exclusive and these ones you can find in dungeons as well. Now we have food. They're color coded. Nothing else to say here. I'm just gonna quickly scroll through these. So many. There's so many. Alright. So lastly, this section is very empty, I'd say. The only section worth noting is here, actually. So this is my chest I put all of my items in when I'm in creative. So I'm actually gonna show my backpack so I don't forget. This is my main backpack. It looks very disorganized, but trust me, there is some sort of organization going on here, I swear. Or I think it's mainly just muscle memory where I have certain items memorized. These are random backpacks, they don't count. This was a ticket thing when we had lore related to that, but I'm pretty sure it kind of got scrapped a little bit. We have some wither skeleton skulls. A flower kind of related to my character. These flowers very related to my character. Also lore related, I cannot remember. There's a lot of stuff here. We can go to my food backpack first. This is just food, and food. Usually when I'm adventuring, I put them in this backpack and I sort it out later into my basement. Here is wood and other interesting items. I don't know what to say. This is also another miscellaneous, like getting shoved whatever in there. This is potions and some very interesting images, but these are mainly potions in here. Then we have, this is the lore backpack. Unfortunately, I barely remember any of these. There isn't much to, oh yeah, and there's also enchant books, but there's nothing here. Nothing much, you know. Wow. Lore, am I right? There's so much, but nothing are too crazy. Then we have, I think here, this is all my crate stuff, all my crate brain rot. There's a lot in here, but yeah, this is my main backpack, and it will stay in this chest forever, unfortunately. The rest here are like random stuff that I use for admin-y things. So things I get in creative, not survival. For example, these mob heads, these are supposed to be used for a character that I had, a little egg character that I was planning to use, and I still have the model for it. Thank you, Ollie. But clearly I didn't have enough time to do any of that. I have no idea what this is. there's just so many random things. Let's see. Oh, because the server's ending, I can actually show this. This is the ban chest. Not really ban, I guess. I don't know. It's like things that you weren't able to use when at least when I was playing regularly. Because when I was playing regularly, like netherite stuff was, you know, you couldn't use them. These are because of someone. My friend was like testing these out, so there's just a bunch here. These are accidentally, I was trying to fix my backpack issue, and these are just duplicates. A gun, you can't use that. And yeah, there's just a lot of things. And nothing else here, I think. Yeah, there's nothing else here. So that concludes my main part of the basement here. There's still so much more to this basement, honestly. It's insane. We're gonna take a quick look in this room. This is supposed to be a quote-unquote living area. It's clearly it's not. I never go here. Next is my multi-purpose workbench room thingy. We have an enchant table fully leveled up and everything. We have a grindstone. That's about it. Ooh, I should go in F1. We have a glass blowers, workbench, cartography, botanist, loom, shepherds, everything. Just everything, and a mountain of anvils because you get them from adventuring. So they're like half broken, I think. I don't remember. Mountain of furnaces because sometimes you have to use furnaces and not smokers and things like that. And a bunch of blast furnaces. But usually I don't use these anymore because I have something else to show later when it comes to smelting. Over here is supposed to be my villagers, but something happened to them. We don't talk about what happened to them. I think it was some update issue. But they're dead. There's my mountain of backpacks. I let people take any backpacks that they need, so some of these are missing, but anyone can take these for free, because I had too many. This was my nether wart farm because, you know, I couldn't go to the nether at the time. It's unlocked now, but I couldn't go into the nether, so there's a bunch of stuff. My crazy brewing station. This produces so many. And I also have a bit too much nether wart for my own good. Next is my cooking station, because, you know, there's a bunch of items you can cook with using these specific ones. So they're all here. They're all here, multi-purpose. Oh, and also my mountain of smokers too. Again, I don't really use them. Next, we have here, this is my animal room that was never really fully finished, honestly. We have some crops here just growing because I don't have time. Over here was supposed to be axolotls, like just full of axolotls. And each axolotl would actually kill a lot. And because these fish are naturally spawning, and we put axolotls in there, so they kept killing every single fish. So we just have a lot of food, you can say. In here was supposed to be, I think, some seals, I think. After we moved to season 3, they all despawned because that's just what happens. Same thing with here. These were supposed to be turtles. Yeah, they're gone now. And now here's my lovely, lovely raccoons. Here, I gotta get out of F1 for this. And we're gonna feed each one as well. So first we have Strawberry and Shortcake. These are like a pair. They actually came from if you looked at my ResurgenceSMP base tour, they actually come from there. So I brought them to my server here too. So we have Strawberry, Shortcake, and of course my beloved raccoon Swift, named after my online friend Swift. So this little guy is pretty relevant with lore things, and I will forever be taking him to any server that I go on that has the Alex Mobs mod, because he is forever my little guy. Y'all. Oh, alright. Let's feed them each. 1, 2, 3. There we go. They all have something to eat. That's great. I feed them specifically golden carrots, because why not? Alright. We have one more section to go before the second level of my basement. Yes, I have 2 levels. Over here is my supposed to be detective-y lore room, where I would actually, like, investigate stuff. Clearly I didn't really end up doing that because I was busy with school. So there's a lot of stuff. Over here, this is my main, like, lore related things here. Here's some books as well. So this was very heavily my lore stuff. The rest is nothing really, honestly. There isn't much here. Oh, this was my character actually had an egg. So this is Rigby's stuff. That's, again, nothing much here. And over here, my character actually had a second egg, but that lore never kicked off, really. So this was supposed to be Bean's room. Clearly empty. Fully empty. Uh-oh. Oopsies. Yeah. Alright. So now we can actually get started with, more bigger stuff here. So this is my second floor of my basement. So I'm going to go in F1 again so you can have a better look. Okay, so first thing you see when you come in here, of course this is fully protected. This is just all of the crops I really need, from Croptopia and things like that. Things that are like you actually use. They're all here. I'll fly as well for you to see. They have 3 stories here, 3 stories here. Pretty, yeah, there's a lot of stuff. If we go here, this was supposed to be my horse breeding project, where I would be trying to get pretty good stat horses, but of course after moving to season 3 they all disappeared, so we can't do anything about that. This is my very bad cobble farm. Oh my god, there's too many. This was supposed to be just a temporary thing, not like a permanent thing, and now it forever clogs everything. Oh my god. Actually, I think I should probably Okay, problem solved. Anyway. There isn't much here to say. Over here, there's actually more trees over here. These are all fruit trees and trees that you actually have a use in recipe. Because there's some recipes that don't use any of these. So I don't bother getting them. But all of these have uses. Which is pretty cool. Next is my very unfinished project. Every single time I'm on a server that has like lots of food items, I always have the urge to collect every single one. So this was supposed to be like a museum type thing, and I never finished it, clearly. This actually goes down to this level, which goes really far, and this level. You can kind of see some of it here, where I like started collecting some, but that project never went anywhere. Next is my supposed to be aquarium mixed with create. It was originally supposed to be just an aquarium, but I realized I was mainly focusing on create stuff, so I decided to merge the two. Here's supposed to be a fish tank. There's no fish in it. I can't say much. Here's a giant staircase leading to my create stuff. Holy. I always have some sort of lag spike in here because it's a lot down here. First we have my lava storage. This has, I think, let me see. So 288 buckets worth of lava, and we also have another container just for that as well. So lots and lots and lots of lava. Again, this spot is really unfinished, unfortunately. I did make this farm. This is my iron farm, so it just passively makes iron. Oh wow, that's a lot actually, because I was running a little low on iron and I couldn't really adventure for it. So it's just here, simple process, I'd say. You know, it just washes it, then it puts it on a conveyor, and then gets made over here. Nothing much. Here is my very big steam engine farm thing. Honestly, as you can see, it doesn't even use all of the lava it's given, so I was planning on making even more steam engines for me to use, and this would just be like a giant giant thing in the basement, just running a bunch of crate machines. I'm actually gonna go in spectator mode and show you how it looks under it. Clearly it's a lot of lava. It is way too much lava for my own good. And that's about it, I'd say, for my main basement little area. There's a lot. There's a lot. And I really wish I finished it, but clearly I didn't finish it. And now I have one final bit of my base to actually show. So we're actually gonna walk here, and we're gonna go back up here. Alright, so the final bit of my base I wanted to show is a little extension, to say, which is my first ever create place on this server. So this is my main little area I like to hang out with, where I'm like smelting things, washing things. This is my mass washing and things station. There's a lot here. This is actually the first farm I ever made on this server. Oh wow, it is backlogged like crazy right now. This is an andesite farm that makes a lot of flint, I'd say. It makes more flint than anything else, really. This is actually really poorly optimized. I think I could have done it better, but it was pretty good for just making it up. We have my crushing wheels here. It crushes a bunch of stuff. We have my big giant crafter here that crafts stuff. And we have the deployer here just making things like that. Things like the... I don't know. I actually forgot what they're called, but they make things, I swear. And of course these are the very first crate machines I've made, which is the usual hitting things in the press and things like that. The usual. And yeah, I think that's about it for my base tour. Again, very, very, very unscripted. Mainly because I don't have time to write a script right now, so it's just like this. You're getting this really bad content. I am so sorry. I'm in a rush. So thank you guys for watching my very, very, very scuffed base tour. And hopefully you'll see more content from me in the future. I'm not sure, but I mainly do this channel for just funsies. I don't want you subscribing. Well, you could. And I don't really care about likes. I'm just shoving whatever content I have into the YouTube algorithm. Alright. Goodbye, RSMP. Goodbye, everyone.